So I'm sure many of you have been to Thailand and seen the elephants everywhere, often tied to maybe trees or fences with just a tiny piece of rope. And yeah, I'm sure many of you have asked, yeah, why can't they just escape since they're so powerful? But actually, when they were younger, they were weak and they couldn't escape, and so they probably developed a mindset that told them that they could never escape, and yeah, they would never be strong enough. And yeah, even once they were strong enough, the mindset carried on, and so yeah, it's similar for many people as well. And so today I'm going to be talking about how to eliminate self-doubt. And so firstly, yeah, self-doubt is rooted internally. And yeah, we live in an era of unprecedented access to resources and opportunities. And so yeah, that asks the question, why are so many of us stuck in mediocrity and being average? And yeah, while some people with an abundant amount of resources only achieve mediocrity, while some people with nothing achieve great success. Examples being maybe, yeah, Colonel Sanders, who made KFC even when he was age 65 and retired and he had nothing. And yeah, similarly, Thomas Edison, who lived in who lived in an age of almost um, with very uh, with very primitive technology, and he was still able to make the light bulb. And yeah, so basically that shows that the key to success is not external factors but actually internal. Yeah, specifically psychologically and neurologically. And so yeah, self-doubt originates in the human brain, and the nervous system is wired for comfort, while our soul and what we truly want is wired for growth and personal development. And so that creates a tension between the comfort zone and the desire for growth. And yeah, the tension creates friction between the two beliefs, and yeah, that keeps people from moving past their limits and past, I guess, the limits that they perceive. And so yeah, so managing this tension is key to overcoming procrastination and self doubt. And so basically, yeah, so I'll go deeper into it. So the frontal lobe is basically responsible for making decisions, and it moves down repeated actions down to the midbrain, and there it becomes a habit. And yeah, while habits can increase efficiency and they can be good, um, I mean, there can also be bad habits which can which can cause unconscious patterns like self-sabotage. So for example, a good habit could be a morning routine, like just waking up, getting dressed and brushing your teeth. It improves efficiency because we do it unconsciously and without even thinking, so it makes getting up a lot easier. However, on the other hand, a negative habit might be a negative habit might just be, I guess, oh yeah, smoking, for example. Since yeah, I guess it's hard to get rid of and it's bad for your body. And so yeah, I guess you have to try and break free from that. And another place where negative habits can also originate also during your childhood. And so basically, children often keep words or maybe experiences that that might seem not that big for a really long time. And an example is maybe if you were being bullied as a child in school, and that basically just creates a belief that limits you, and it keeps you thinking that you're inferior and you can never be good enough. Yeah, another example is, say for example, uh, yeah, a story of a child, let's say Johnny, and he visits the supermarket with his father, who is really stressed out and he has a lot of work to do, and yeah, maybe Johnny always keeps asking for a toy, and it might seem like a little thing for the father to say, saying, um, "I'm sorry, you can't have it right now, because I don't have time and I have to go to my next job really quickly." It might be like quite impactful to Johnny, and being like denied, and being, I guess, being like, it creates an impression on him that he doesn't always deserve things and he always needs to try better. And so, yeah, things like that always carry on from childhood onto life. And it's similar um, to the elephants in Thailand, where um, the baby elephants were always held onto a rope where they couldn't break free. And that also just carried on until they were adults. And even when they could break free, they always had the mindset that they couldn't. And yeah, and just like people, yeah, like, so the elephants, just like people, never rise above the opinions that they hold of themselves. So next I want to be talking about the conscious versus the unconscious mind. And so basically the conscious mind is like an ant, which is just working hard, um, and it can only direct behavior temporarily. However, on the other hand, the unconscious mind governs over 90% of the things going on in your brain, and yeah, it can be made up of things like habits, beliefs, and emotions, and the conscious efforts must align with the subconscious mind, so to actually produce results. And yeah, well, how do you direct your subconscious and conscious mind? So it's a bit like a compass, where you can basically direct your conscious mind into to something that you would like to achieve. And however, 95% of the time people don't do that. And yeah, if they don't if they only manage to direct if they only manage to direct their mind in towards a goal for only a short period of time, then it will still eventually move back to its original state. So say, for example, you wanted to go for a morning run, and yeah, so you directed your mind towards a common goal for some time, maybe say 1 or 2 days. However, as soon as you stop directing your mind towards that goal, it will eventually fall back to its old habits, like just sleeping late and missing breakfast. And yeah, so you have to always keep in mind the goal that you have, and yeah, I guess don't lose sight of it. And next, another thing that generates a lot of self-doubt is your environment. And there's a saying that environment trumps will, which is, I guess, quite true, since negative comments that are constantly directed to you erodes your self-belief. And yeah, I have personal experience with this as well. So yeah, when I was preparing for an exam, and I thought if I could do it for my oboe, I thought that I could do it quite well. My teacher kept on telling me, yeah, I wasn't good enough yet, and if I did it now, then I'd fail. However, my mum always had a positive light towards me, and she said that, and she always told me to believe in myself. And yeah, so she signed me up for the exam, and I actually passed quite well with a merit. And so I guess that just goes to show how much your environment can impact what you do and what you believe. Yeah, so we also adapt our beliefs and our attitudes to the social group that we are close to. So for example, if you had say for example your friends had a particular music preference, and you were listening to that with them for a lot of the time, you might not think it, but sometimes you can subconsciously change your music preference as well to be more directed towards their one. And yeah, it's similar to, like, not only preferences, like things like personalities can also be reflected onto you. And yeah, so I guess you just have to pick the right things and the right people to be around. And another thing that really generates a lot of self-doubt is the media, since the media is designed to grip interest through fear and through negativity. And so if you keep feeding yourself a lot of media, typically like negative media, then your brain will often be in a constant state of, in the default state of negativity. And yeah, I remember when I was quite addicted to YouTube Shorts, and yeah, I kept on watching it, and that not only fed me quite a lot of negative information, but it also um, decreased my, it also um, like it also reduced the amount of books I read and podcasts I listened to, and so yeah, it can not only give you negative information, but you spend your time doing that rather than something else. And so the three tips to break out of this self-sabotage cycle is firstly, stop putting in the wrong things, yes, such as the negative media or wrong people. Secondly, you have to put the right things in. So like instead of YouTube Shorts, put in books and motivational podcasts. And then thirdly, yeah, just remove the wrong things and identify and get rid of them. And yeah, it can also help to have a mentor who can help identify the bad things that you already have in your mind and help you like get rid of them and um, look for your and look towards your goal more. So yeah, I hope this helped you. I think the most important points to take away are that the that self doubt um, is can is rooted internally, um, like in you, like, and it can originate from maybe childhood experiences, or yeah, or your environment and who you surround yourself with. And yeah, remember that the three tips to break out of the cycle are: firstly, stop putting in wrong things; secondly, put in the right things; and thirdly, remove wrong things. And yeah, so it might be quite easy for us to look at the elephant and laugh since it doesn't use its power to escape. However, a lot of us aren't even in a much better situation. And so I hope this talk helped you realize maybe you do doubt yourself a lot, and maybe and help you break free and look towards your goals. Thank you for listening.